Hello the internet, welcome back to the Waifus. I'm Sefhi and today we bring another first impressions on a really awful gacha. Now every time I think I cannot find bad gacha games to play and cover, the industry keeps surprising me because they love releasing a slop. Now before we start, two things: leave a like, subscribe, hey, help me to the channel also. And then second, when it comes to anime IP games, this is Reincarnated as a slime. Any anime gacha IP based is going to be 99% of the time a cash grab. There are exceptions, there is Fate, there is Dokkan, there is a few exceptions that have lasted a lot of years, but for the most part, they are cash grabs. This game falls under the same category as the Overlord Gacha. The Overlord Gacha is a game that I personally would enjoy playing in global if it wasn't released by Crunchyroll, we'll see, and if the monetization was a little bit better. These are games that are constantly adding 1,000 different packs, 1,000 different events, and a lot of characters, which for the people who enjoy the IPs is good. For the people who just want a new gacha to try, these type of games are usually really bad. So let's talk a little bit about this slime gacha. This came out a couple of days ago. We tried it on a stream, and then I was wanted to make it like my first impressions videos right here. The game came out with a 6.2 on Bilibili, which isn't too bad. Could be a lot worse, right? A lot of releases go with like a 2 stars, 3 stars. This is out of 10, and the positives so far have been 50-50. As you can see, a lot of people leaving right now 1-star reviews, but most of them is literally 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars, etc. It's right now a 50-50. Some people like it, some people dislike it, and you'll see this with absolutely every anime IP based gacha. So I'm going to be talking about the gacha itself, the characters, the gameplay, and how I feel about the game personally. Once again, if you are a fan of slime, you can enjoy this even with all the obvious flaws the game has. So that said, let's just get started with the most important part of any gacha, even though I think it's the gacha itself, with the gameplay. Gameplay wise, the game is quite simple. There is nothing interesting, honestly, and I will say it's one of the downside of the game. One of the pet peeves that I have with this game is the animations itself and how it feels. It doesn't have any impact. So as you can see, usual, you have 5 characters versus 5 characters. You organize your characters however you want. I'm running a team of clowns. And you just press combat and it's automatic. You don't have to do anything. You can put time to speed, you can put auto on the animations. The animations don't feel that good. That's like the ultimate for the characters. There is not a lot of animation going on in terms of that, right? So combat, nothing interesting. Your usual auto battler, that's it, nothing else. You have the campaign, you have different game modes where you can fight different monsters and keep progressing. Now, the game also has another system that I personally dislike in gacha games. I think it should not be mixed together, and that is the base building, or your building your own town, just like in the anime, right? You want to build your own kingdom. Now, again, if you like the anime itself, you might enjoy this. You can transform from a slime into, but I think he's called Rimeru. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Again, I haven't watched this. I read the manga when it came out like 3,000 years ago. I read it a little bit and then I stopped. So you can build your own town and you can actually check what's going on in here and talk with different characters. Graphic wise, it's quite bad. It looks like a game from PlayStation 1 with just cell shading, but it's not the worst thing I've seen out there. Again, I've seen way worse. If you like a slime, you will probably have a decent time with this game. Now, gameplay, that's it. You have your town, you build different buildings, which we can switch into the base building version right here. And as you can see, this will act as your not only your town, but also your idle resource management, meaning your town will be producing resources for you that you can use them to trade, to buy different stuff, and to keep increasing the level of your base and building new things. This, I don't know how far it goes, since I'm not going to be playing this after the review, but I'm going to assume it's quite basic like most of this type of games. The buildings at the beginning take only like 10 seconds to build, and then it will go up all the way to like a few hours. I don't like this type of system in gachas. I think gachas already make us wait a lot for resources, so there is no need to also make us wait for a building to finish for 16 hours. Now, before we go into the gacha and the shop, I want to show you the characters that I have right now available and how the dupe system works. This is a game like AFK Journey or AFK Arena, and that's what I personally don't like. In games like Nike, we don't need to pull for dupes. The moment you get a character, yes, you get more stats, but your rarity is whatever you get, SSR or SR. You don't need to use dupes in order to increase the rarity of all of these characters. This is just like AFK Journey, where you'll have to go and actually use a lot of character dupes, and as you can see, 2 right here. If I wanted to level up, I need 2 more clowns or 2 more of the same rarity, and they go all the way to your usual rainbow rarity, which is the highest one, right? Whatever it's called, SUR, whatever. So I don't like this type of dupe system like FK Journey, FK Arena. I think they require too many dupes and they force you to pull more dupes than you actually need for. I prefer something like Nike, where 1 copy is more than enough, even though there is some exceptions to that rule in Nike, right? So character-wise, gameplay-wise, all super basic. What about the gacha? Is it something enjoyable? It's something you can actually pull for? Yes and no. And this is the problem with the game, and what I was saying, you will only enjoy it if you are a fan of the series. When it comes to the normal gacha, this is the normal gacha, right? Every 3 multis, you're getting an S rarity character, which is pretty good because, you know, meaning you will be able to get a lot of characters. But the rates are at 4%, but you need a lot of dupes. We're talking, this type of game usually requires you to get at least 20 dupes per character. This type, again, which is a lot of characters you will need to pull in order to go to max rarity. Now, it's also true that these games usually don't require you to have every character at max rarity, but even at the 4.35%, the amount of characters you need to pull is a lot. So as you can see, I have 2 characters right here. I have a clown and I have a pig, and then we can just do an animation and pull. Now, the pulling animation is also something that I don't like at all, and I'm gonna actually up the volume so you guys can hear it as well, because it's really bad. It's super basic. It has almost no impact. When you are pulling, it doesn't feel as good. But the sounds, look at this, right? Who decided that was a good idea? Who thought those sounds were good? This is where most people have to feel good in a gacha in order to stay, because they're pulling. But every time you're pulling in this game, you just want to mute the game on how bad it sounds. So that's like the only thing I don't like about the gacha part. I think a 4% is pretty decent. I think the amount of dupes you need is too much, but whatever. The problem and the thing that I dislike the most is the rate up characters, because right now there is this guy. I don't know his name, but there is this guy. You cannot pull as a free-to-play player on these banners, and this is the rate up characters. Same rates, 4.35. You need the same amount of dupes, but you can only pull once per day with a free signal right here, or you can buy with gems up to 4 per day. I bought 1 already, so I can buy 3 more, as you can see, and that's it. Even if I buy all of these chances, right? So right now I can only buy for 1 yuan, 30 yuan, 68, etc., which is like $1, 5, 20, so on and so forth. And this keeps going more expensive and expensive. So clearly you can buy a lot of packs, but you cannot put as a free-to-play player. Now you'll be able to get maybe 1 copy as a free-to-play player. I'm not sure if it's guaranteed to get the one you want or not, which looks like it's not. Looks like you will need to pull 3 S characters before you get the guaranteed, from what I'm looking at here. You can still be lucky and get the character beforehand, right? But we're talking about the 4%, which is quite decent, but you only get around 3-4 pulls per day. And you need to spend a lot of gems for that anyway. So that's like what I don't like about this game, that the rate tab banners are locked behind premium currency. I cannot pull, even though I have gems to pull, I can't. The game doesn't let me. In contrast to come in here, let me do a multi and a skip, as you guys can see. Right, if I come to this banner, I can actually pull with gems. I can buy 5 more tickets with 1350 gems. So I can click yes, I buy them, and I can pull. I can't do the same here. You cannot buy gems. You cannot buy pools, sorry. Well, we got the kid, the amazing pool. As you can see, that's like the biggest pet peeve that I see with the game. Not only like it looks low quality, but it doesn't feel as good. Like I was saying at the beginning, if you are a fan of the series, you will probably still enjoy the game. When it comes to the gacha, that is everything that you need to know. It's a 4%, there is a rate up character that it's only with premium currency, and there is a normal banner, which requires a lot of dupes, but it's a 4.35%, and you get plenty of currency, not that bad. And when it comes to the shop, there is so many packs that I will not be able to show all of them. I think this is pretty standard for this type of game. The best thing about this game is the mini games on the events, because you will get events like this, where you can get characters for free or resources just by gambling. Now, the game doesn't have a lot of things, so even these small systems are like, okay, this is fun to do. I'm not sure how rigged this type of system is in terms of how predetermined it is. Well, of course, we get the character the moment that I'm actually recording the video. We did this on stream like 1,000 times, and we got nothing. So you can get characters like this as well, which I think is nice systems in games like this for your dopamine hits, and also to get some extra freebies. Plus, maybe a character if you get lucky. So that's basically everything the game has to offer you. There is a lot of packs, um, there is multiple monthly cards, there is of course a VIP system or a spender system, whatever you want to call it. China was the pioneer when it comes to this type of system, so I expect to see it on almost any Chinese gacha, unless it's one of the more ones trying to go mainstream or trying to go a little bit more to a wider audience. They usually tend to remove those VIP systems, for example, like Girls from Line 2, right? But that's the game itself. There is more game modes that have the same combat system. Of course, you have your characters that you can upgrade the rarity of, and you also have, of course, your main boss right here, which you can level up and get different skills long term. This is a pretty standard anime cash grab IP, right? Most of these games never come to global, and if they do, they usually last a year or two until they make a new one. Reincarnated as a Slime already has 2 games. That's why I will never play this type of games when they come to global. Because you will play for a couple of years, you're gonna be happy with your account, and then this game is gonna close for no fucking reason because they decided, okay, this is enough. Let's move into the next game that we're making of the same IP with the same awful systems, right? And it's like, come on, what you doing? So if you're a fan of the IP, I would recommend waiting, see if it comes to global, see if the game is doing good in China. I will not have my hope super up because considering how the game looks, how it plays, and how it feels, it doesn't feel like a project that will be lasting a long time. All that said, it's gonna be it for the first impressions for the Reincarnated Slime New World game, right? Another anime cash grab IP into the Chinese market. If you're interested in seeing me playing more gacha slob games, feel free to come to my streams every single day. Thank you to my patrons for making this content possible. Love you all, bossos. Good luck with your pool dinner. It's and see you in the next one.
役立たずは楽園から追放するのみ。ブランとノワールのショータイムです。天地万物を切るとはこういうことだ。